Welcome, my friends, to Nine's Corner. Can you believe it's February already? So we're looking at February being the month of two, partnerships, love, togetherness. Then we have the year of six added to the February 2 brings us to 8. So 8 is all about personal power, wealth, accolades. It's about getting what you want out of life, and this is the perfect month for it. So we're also looking at February 22nd, 2022. So it's the angel number 222. I plan on that day to light a candle and to really ask for what I want to manifest. You know, just take time, because when you look at the presence of two, there's so many repeats of the two, and two being all about balance. And I just think of it like, when you look at the world as we are right now, isn't it kind of crazy? Like everything is just out of whack, out of balance, and you just wish somebody could just press a reset number and just fix things somehow. But that's why with so many repetitions of two, it's a great time to really think about where you are, where you want to be, where you're going, and balance it out, you know, because for far too many of us, we spend too much time at work, or we spend not enough time with the family, or whatever that case may be. It's all about balancing out. And with the 8, I always think of the 8 like the infinity sign. So it's like, go with the flow, let go, let God, you know? So it's going to be an interesting month, and I think because of the significance of the 2 repeating, we're going to hear a lot this month about money, be it good and bad, because even though the 8 is normally a very positive number with positive affirmations, there's also always the shadow side of every number. So we're going to hear about breakups, divorces, people splitting up. We're also going to hear about people getting together. We're going to hear about businesses breaking up, but we're also going to hear about businesses coming together. It's going to be an eventful month, and it's going to affect everybody in their own way. It's a time when it's not just specifically for you. It's time for you to look at balancing. This is for each and every one of us to look at balancing out everything, our inner world, our outer world. I mean, you look at the amount of mental illness and everything that's happening. This is our time to say, hey, we need to focus on each other, focus back on what's important, looking at the family. Because when you look at 2022, that's 6. That's the number of family, putting things back together. And it's so important that we really need to focus on that, getting balanced. And that includes with COVID and trying to live our lives. And so we have so much to talk about. But before we get into the readings, I wanted to say that February 10th, we're going to have an anniversary. It's been 2 years since I started on YouTube. I'm still in shock today that I actually do it. I can't tell you how rewarding it's been and how much I enjoy it. I can't tell you how many tears I've cried, how many times I wanted to quit, and the experience has just been overwhelming. It truly has. And I don't know if there's a purpose in me doing this. I don't know. You know, I really, sometimes I question it, and I just don't know. I just know that I look back at the last 2 years, I look back at my videos, and I feel like I'm really accurate. I will say that. I do feel like I'm accurate, and I always come to the table with my most honest and purest thoughts. I try to be as honest and as truthful as I can, and I don't try to play any games or any kind of BS with you. And from day one to this day, even though my hair has gone through a lot of reincarnations, we don't want to go back over all of them. But I just, as always, I'm always in gratitude. I could name so many people that I'm like, oh, this one's been with me since the beginning, but I would be here for the whole video and I would not want to leave out a single soul. So you guys know who you are. You've stayed with me when I had, 100 people or 10,000. And when it goes like this, and you guys have stayed with me, and I guess I stayed with you. We stayed together for good or for bad or for however long it's going to be. I want you to know how much I truly, truly appreciate it. How much I enjoy doing this. How maybe I'm too much. I get too much feeling about it. I'm so wanting to be careful not to hurt anybody's feelings or to say too much because I don't want to put too much out in the universe. And I truly, truly believe in it. So I hope that comes across. I hope that, I'm giving you my most honest and authentic self that I possibly can. And I truly appreciate you coming on this journey with me. So 2 years, can you imagine? Thank you. Yay. All right. So let's start off with Donald Trump. Why? Why not? First, we're going to look at Donald Trump and what he said about our Canadian trucking convoy happenings.
That's true. The Canadian truckers, you've been reading about it, who are resisting bravely these lawless mandates, are doing more to defend American freedom than our own leaders by far. And we want those great Canadian truckers to know that we are with them all the way. They are. They've really shown something.
So just the mere fact that Trump would be saying, yay, go, makes me just want to, cringe. So I realized that they're planning to do this in the USA from California to Washington. They said overall the march in Ottawa was fairly respectful, but there were swastikas. They did have some jerks dancing on the tomb of the unknown soldier. So, yeah, there were some deplorable things that happened, but overall it was peaceful. I agree with Trudeau in the sense that I think this is a small radical group that are making a big noise. But I mean, there was a number of people that showed up in Ottawa, and it's so hard because on the one hand, I truly do believe we need to stand up for our rights and that there is a slippery slope that the government can step in and do too much. But when you're looking at mandates on both sides being equal, on the US and the Canadian side, saying that you have to be vaccinated and that it's not about, if you decide not to vaccinate, that it only affects you. It affects the whole public. And that's where, and the misinformation that we've had. And let's face it, do you trust the government 100%? So I can appreciate where the truckers are coming from in one sense. But then I think, a lot of them are there for reasons beyond just COVID vaccinations. I think there's a right-wing Trump type group that are doing a Canadian version of the US, to some extent. So let's look at how the convoy, and do you guys remember, I think it was Chris Christopherson. I could be wrong. Convoy. Do you remember that song? But every time I think of truckers, I always think of that song Teddy Bear. Remember? And if you don't know the song, just look up the song Teddy Bear. And it's all about this paraplegic child that is talking to the truckers. And he's like, oh God, what is it? Breaker 19, anybody out there? Come on in and talk to Teddy Bear or something like that. It's really cute. Look up the song, it'll make you cry. But I go on and on. Sorry, I know somebody's going to say, oh, you got down and on. I don't mean to. I apologize. I just want to talk. So let's look at the Canadian convoy. Is anything more going to come of it? Or is this just going to be a one-time only deal? Or how is that looking like? Convoy. Okay. I think there was the coming together of people. People are just frustrated. It's not just about the border being vaccinated, because that's on both sides, whether it be US or Canada. I think people are just fed up. I think mental illness, years and years of negative right-wing news constant at us, just so many issues that are affecting the family. And we're coming into the month of unionizing together, that this is a time for us to come together. They've put out their message. They've said, look, this is what we want. And I think at the end of the day, it's going to be like, okay, you came, you saw, you did, and you walked away. I think that's pretty much going to be it for the Canadian version of this convoy. I think the representation is small, but it's a strong group that have the same ideals. Will they make a second convoy? Or is that just it? Is that the done deal now? There's a plan there. Quick movement. When making a plan, planning, having the ability to do it. And there's the family card again. Wow. Okay, so this has brought people of like mind together, and so this is not something that we should ignore. I think Trudeau is doing wrong by just ignoring it and saying, oh, that's okay. I think that we have to be careful, because these are people that could plan dark money, dark attitudes, negative attitudes, feeling like they need to move while the moving's getting good. Having people in positions that can actually do something and coming together for a similar purpose. I think they need to be careful and watch this. Let's see, is anything going to happen with the U.S. convoy? Is that going to become anything? They're saying about going from California to Washington. Let's see. Strength. Man, oh man. So, yeah, they're going to do it. They're going to get support. And it's going to be this kind of free-for-all. Like, it's not going to be just the truckers. It's going to have other people from other groups joining in and saying, hey, defending themselves. Oh, this is going to... Like, there's the plan. Ugh. Okay. I'm not going to be surprised if we actually see some legalities coming out of the U.S. convoy, because it definitely looks like they're going there with strength. They're going to get backup from different entities, because there's this overall feeling of confusion that they're just, it's put together and it's not balanced. It's just pushed together because it's hit while the iron's hot. the Queen of Wands here, the Queen of Wands here being somebody to try to control the actions. This probably goes along with the planning. Loss, regret. So, and you know, there's going to be those who are going to make money on it, those who are going to benefit from anything that they get going. And I do think that there might actually end up being people who might get in some legal trouble or a legal issue over it. So their plan is to march. They're looking at the details, walking away from what they know into something. Yeah, it looks like they will actually go ahead with this. I'm just worried about, there's some negative cards here that, you know, depending on how the energies flow into that again, you're bringing people of different groups with different ideals, but they all kind of have that similar, they can umbrella themselves under this. There will be a balancing out, defending, you know, there is this right wing, and again, this imbalance, and this is the month for balancing things up. So God willing, we can put our energy into balancing things out so this doesn't become something. All right, we're going to look at Trump, because I know, why would you want to do that 2 times in a row, Nina? But Trump has a tendency to say about himself or talk, and it's because these are the things that he's thinking, wishing, wanting. It's like when he says, oh, they stole the vote, they stole the election. That's because he stole the vote, he stole the election. When he says, oh, he's demented, sick, and weak, it's because he's demented, sick, and weak. So when Trump recently got on and said this,
as an example, for years they've been going after my company, many years, using every trick in the book in an attempt to literally, if they can, put me in jail. They want to put me in jail. If these radical, vicious, racist prosecutors do anything wrong or illegal, I hope we are going to have in this country the biggest protest we have ever had in Washington, D.C., in New York, in Atlanta, and elsewhere, because our country and our elections are corrupt.
I thought, oh no. Does Monsieur Trump know something that we don't? Is he really like going, oh my gosh, I could be going to jail? Because when he talks and says something, it's usually because there's something behind it, because he can't help but talk. I mean, he just can't help it. You just got to look at what he's saying and ask, what is he saying? Why is he saying this? Why would he all of a sudden be telling people, hey, you know, they're trying to put me in jail? Unless he's worried that he's going to jail. So let's just have a quick little look in and just see, is there any possibility? Come on, tell us the truth. Is there any possibility? My cards are trying to play tricks. Right. Okay, at the center we have the family. An offer that's not wanted. This could be one of the kids, Ivanka, Donald Trump Jr., Eric, whoever, somebody from the family having to go against him. Ooh! Underneath it all, being left out. The devil. Come on now. The stuff that he has done, I mean, we can't appreciate it. We cannot appreciate what Donald Trump has done in his lifetime. On top of it all, he's worried about his money and where his money's coming in from. It's so sick. He's still just with no matter how much trouble he's in and the worry and stress that he a normal person would be under, he's still just waiting for his money to come in. Come on, give to Trump. King of Swords. Oh my God. Legalities. The king coming down and taking authority and saying enough is enough. King of Pentacles. King of Cups. Come on. Okay, let's just bring out all the cards and see what's there. Three of Wands and our closing. Nine of Cups. Wow. Okay, there's three kings here. So I think this is the legality, this is the money, and the King of Cups could be Joe Biden, because maybe Joe Biden would have, obviously Joe Biden would have to know about this or possibly comment about it or something like that. Looking, waiting for the ships to come in and for it to be successful, to find out that the emperor does not have clothes on. So there's a lot of people of power. Now, just because they're kings does not mean they're men. This could be women in power, but is legality going against him? There's going to be information about the money. And I truly believe that this is Joe Biden probably having to have some okay about this, to do. Oh, I don't even want to touch it. The Tower. Oh my God, Trump. Mar-a-Lago, bye-bye. Trump's business, go by. Trump's reputation, Trump's family, Trump's, put in, and it's gone, guys. We got the Chariot going in crazy directions and the Queen of Cups. I truly think this is Ivanka. I've said it for 2 years now. Ivanka is going to turn on her father. Holy. I'm telling you guys, we are getting closer and closer to that man going to jail. I just can't believe, we got the devil here, the Tower here, the Chariot here. All the king's forces and all the king's men have showed up to put Trump in jail again. Oh, gosh, I hope that comes true. Can you imagine? That'd be so wonderful. But he's in trouble. Not love is in the air, trouble's in the air. Everywhere Trump's around, trouble's in the air. It always makes him frown. All right. So our next reading we're going to do is on Kamala Harris. I know in my head I'm literally going Kamala. I'm sorry. Occasionally I'm going to get names wrong it's not even, I know the difference, but sometimes you just, anyway. Yeah, it is what it is. So recently in the news,
justice. So who will it be? Some pundits are wondering if Vice President Kamala Harris might be in the running.
Could Kamala Harris be the next justice of the U.S. Supreme Court? Speculation is running rampant today as President Biden mulls his choice to replace Justice Breyer. Biden has pledged to nominate a black woman to the nation's top bench, and putting his veto forward could clear the way for a new running mate in 2024.
I love you. You always have my back.
Despite the public love fest, reports say that Biden is not happy with Harris.
And I was watching the late night guys. Oh God, what's his name? One of the Jimmys. And he was saying about, there's no chance that this would ever happen, that Kamala would never do this. They would never put Kamala Harris in this position. And I don't know, something just kind of went, I wonder if there's any possibility that her name is in there. I wonder if there's any possibility that the reason why that this got let out or got said, even though I know it probably came from Fox News, but where there's smoke, there could be a fire. That could have actually been somebody thinking outside the box saying, can you imagine? Now, I mean, I know chances are that's not the case. Everybody says no, but I don't know, something just hit when they talked about it. Can you imagine Kamala going in? And I mean, she'd set the record straight for all those men in there. So let's have a look and see. Is there any truth to Kamala Harris going to the Supreme? Because I mean, her numbers are low. Biden has said he's planning on taking Kamala again, but if they get into 2024 and they're like, look, Biden, you're not going to win with Kamala. Kamala's not going to win by herself. Do something. I know that's probably far-fetched, but I can't help it. I'm just, something when I watched it, it was like something just went, interesting. So let's just look at Kamala, what's happening here. Is there any truth to this, or is it just a load of pants? All right, Kamala, what's happening? Ooh! 10 of Swords. So she's having a hard time. Her reputation's not been good. She's been talked about a lot. There's been a lot of information going out about her saying that she can't keep her people. She's, strict. She's this, she's that. And her numbers are obviously down. So she's already starting at a disadvantage and feeling like people are out to get her. Just look, I think there's a possibility that even though it's fodder and they're saying, oh, that's not true, there's no chance that could actually happen, I wonder if her name hasn't been put in the pot, or at least even considered. Going against it is the King of Pentacles. So going against it is either Kamala herself saying, hold on now, I am the vice president. I'm not going to lower myself to something lower. Or this could be the King of Pentacles being that Joe Biden is going across her and saying, look, we've got to be realistic and look at the numbers and keep our options open. Ace of Pentacles, offer of new job, new money. In the past, the Wheel of Fortune. And then you look, Wheel of Fortune, and then you've got the Ten of Swords. So the wheel turned, and it didn't turn well for her. I know I'm going to sound silly, but I do feel like somehow, some way that maybe this was brought up to Kamala Harris as a possibility, or somehow... or maybe I'm just reading into the cards, but I mean, new job, Wheel of Fortune, let's just keep reading. Four of Pentacles, stepping back. Change job. Eek. Oh, for Kamala, I think she is thinking about what she's going to do. I think she is questioning her run with Joe. I think she's questioning, people are looking at her and questioning whether she has what it takes. Knight of Cups. This could be that, let's just... I'm telling you, these cards look to me, I know it doesn't make sense, because it's not making sense to me, but I'm reading the cards, and it's like the cards are saying, look, not that she is going to get it, but the trajectory of her life is not going towards president anymore. Like, I don't even know if she'll be there for vice president. I think there's a lot of trying to, it's like she's way down. She's got two ways of thinking. I think there's a possibility that, yes, even though it was Fox News who made the suggestion, that might have been something Joe Biden had thought of, because I think they are looking at this as a lackluster, but they're coming out and saying, and this is an offer that she's not going to be happy with. Are they going to change her from being his, because he's already come out and said that that's going to be his vice president. They're going to run together. Chariot, that is your passion. It could be a change of direction. If you want something. Ooh. Feeling like you're tied up. There's nothing you can do. Oh my. Son. Firm yes. Queen of Pentacles. I think that they have sat down and strategized and said, you know, our numbers together aren't great. Your numbers alone aren't great. Not necessarily that they would say, oh, she could become Supreme Court right now, but in the future, that could be a possibility. I don't know that he's going to stick it out with her, especially if they feel like their numbers are not good together. But he said that he would. You know, there's one thing, you say one thing, but you actually, you know, in your mind, you might be thinking, or, you know, at least giving the idea some thought. That could be the energies that I'm picking up, the possibilities. Will he stay with Kamala Harris? Will Biden stay with Kamala Harris as his VP? Will he stay with Kamala Harris as his VP? Let's just look at the energies as they are right now. This could change. We know. Life is fluid. Life is fluid, and you know, you just change one thing and then it changes everything. That's the fun of life, isn't it? Strength. Why did I act as though I can't touch this card? Strength. I think right now she's still his partner, but it's going to take strength for her to stay in that position. I don't know. The Hierophant, rules, regulations, lawyers. The Queen of Cups, keeping her feelings. High Priestess, knowing. Strength. I still think that right now, yes, he's planning on sticking with Kamala, but I think there is an unknown where they do keep all options open, and there's probably options that even Kamala is not aware of, but they have to do that. And I'm sure they think of options of what would happen if Biden wasn't there. And there's so much. So the last thing I talked about, Kamala. Ooh, Bill Barr. He talked to the January 6th committee, and I just thought, let's do a short read and just see, is there going to be any information? Has he turned on Trump? What's happening with Bill Barr and Trump on the January 6th committee now that he's talked? Let's have a look. King of Pentacles, the king of information, the king of paperwork, the king of info. Going across it is holding on to things that he knows that he is a part of. It's almost like he he tried to skate. He wanted to try to stay on the fence. He knew enough to stay out of trouble, but he knew enough to keep himself in the loop until it got too much. And he was what's crossing Trump when it comes to Barr is that Barr is going to take care of himself. Barr is going to put himself first, as he always does. Barr made money out of this. Barr got money out of this. Underneath it all, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Ace of Wands. What does Bill Barr have? Page of Pentacles in the past, making deals, making connections, doing the bid, but not doing it as a king, doing it as a page. So that kind of makes me feel like Bill Barr is going to say, hey, I don't want to indicate myself, but he knew enough to keep under the radar. I don't mean he didn't go over the line. I'm just saying that when it actually came to choosing between Trump's lie and telling the truth, at that point, Bill Barr did stand in his truth. He is really hoping that he is going to be able to paint a picture of him as being, this great guy who was keeping an eye on stuff, trying to keep things balanced. And he thinks in his head that he got out of the Trump sphere in the perfect time. That's what he thinks. That's what she said. But no, he got the tower. Isn't it interesting that Trump got the Trump got the tower in his reading too. So Bill Barr, you got the tower again, which you always do. He's between a rock and a hard place. Ooh. He's given information, but people have given information about him as well. He had no other choice but to go in and give some information on Trump to protect himself, because it really does come down to protecting himself. Star. I mean, he's got the tower coming after him, but then he's got the star. It's like he's hoping that whatever he's done is enough to keep him out of trouble, he's stressed and he's worried. Oh my God. He's going to tell on Trump. He's going to think that he's hoping that he's going to do enough to not get in trouble. He's stressed and worried about it because there's a number of things coming against him. Don't be shocked or surprised if he's like, I got to get out of Dodge. But I see him having to take some kind of offer. And although he's going to get away with a lot and not get the consequences that he deserves, he's still going to end up having to do something that he doesn't want to do. So Bill Barr, this is going to be an interesting, oh God, don't you wish we could just be there listening to every little word? So Bill Barr, I think that we're going to find out some interesting stuff about him. Very interesting. All right. So I think I'll close it off there. That'll be our reading. And as always, my darlings, I have our unity candle lit for each and every one of us. And as always, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, and do all that stuff that's supposed to help my channel. I just appreciate you. I thank you for your time. And until the next time we chat, cheerio, guys. Take care.